What up YouTube, and welcome back to All Out War. I'm going to be covering some of the changes in the event since the Pioneer version, most of which were expected. The first change here is that everything takes roughly 100 times longer than it did in Pioneer. That makes sense because we had pretty much 20 accounts per alliance in Pioneer, whereas you can be looking at 600 if you've got a full faction here, so it makes sense that everything takes significantly longer per account doing it. Obviously there's significantly more accounts, so it can end up being a little bit faster. Villages here were about 10,000 to rebuild last time, where they're now just over 1 million. The next change here is for carrying capacity. As you can see, these 900,000 bulls can only carry 2.18 million resources, while last time I had armies that were significantly smaller than this, carrying over 100 million resources. I think this has been scaled down by roughly a factor of 100 as well, but in general, you can't carry as much, which is a shame because it means that if you send your troops to gather overnight, they're only going to gather for maybe an hour or so before they're full and have to go and deposit their resources. So you're not going to wake up to having all of your faction quests finished like you did in Pioneer. Speaking of faction quests, they're up next. There hasn't actually been any change to the quests themselves, but the shop has changed. The shop now contains lightning essence, new photo shards, and badge chests for specific troop types. So you'll be able to buy badges and not get spear badges for your infantry or whatever. I assume they contain both attack and defense badges. It doesn't specify that. I'm going to assume they don't contain health badges, since those are usually only available as legendary badges from the Iron Bank event. Now, to be able to max out all of the 150 lightning essence before it refreshes, it's listed as half monthly. I assume that means 14 or 15 days. It's a 28-day event, so it could just be 2 weeks. But to be able to max out, you'll need to buy the season pass, because that increases the daily limit of faction quest points that you can get from 1500 to 2200. And even at 2200 per day, it's going to take you over 13.5 days to get the 30,000 points you need to buy out all of the lightning essences, or to buy out the 10 photo shards even. I will be focusing on the lightning essences first, just to try and finish the current Dance of Dragons event that is ongoing. Up next, we have some changes to the rewards. Previously, these just all gave badge chests in this first column, that now alternates between 5 lightning essences, 80 weapon reforge ores, and 10 weapon locking stones. This is quite a nice change. I didn't actually mind the badge chests, because I got incredibly lucky and got a lot of good drops on Pioneer, and I didn't have any badges to start with, so it made quite a big difference to go from no badges to running pretty much all blue badges. But obviously that's not going to be quite as useful on people's main accounts where they're already, close to max on badges or even on well past max. So getting these newer and rarer items will definitely be appreciated, I suspect. Now, to actually max out all of the rewards, you need 161.6 million points, which equates to 22 million tier 4s. But you can see that says gravely wounded tier 4s. That means it doesn't actually count all of your kills. It counts 15% of your kills, because that's the 15% that go to the enemy hospital, which means you're going to have to actually kill close to 150 million troops to max out the elimination rewards over the course of the event, which is a big ask. Although I suppose if you're fighting against tier 5s, it will be a bit quicker, given that they give almost twice as many points per troop. The healing rewards have also been changed. They alternate between these badge chests and dragon food. The dragon food's not going to be particularly appreciated, and I doubt the badge chest will either, but this will mainly be for players who are going in logistics marches, because to be able to heal allied troops, which is what you're getting these points for, you need to be in a logistics march with a medic wagon. You also get these Waters of Revival that can heal commanders, and these return stones which let you disband a march from anywhere in allied territory. You can see here the points you get for each tier. Up next, we have these changes to the world progression. In the Pioneer version, these were just not really working at all, and everything was unlocked from the start of the event. As I'm sure you've noticed, you currently only have access to 2 buildings, and at the end of the second world progression target, not the first one, you'll unlock access to more. We don't actually know when that will be. The first one ends tonight, but we don't know when the second one will end. It could just be one day as well. And it will unlock access to these gates here, next to the triangle of blessing buildings. As you can see there, it says complete world progress incursion, which is this stage. Whereas that gate at the bottom there says complete stage gaining ground, which means that that one is not opening and we can't progress into the middle of the map. The one down there towards Hall of Ages also requires that stage, so it is also not opening when the second stage ends. It instead will require gaining ground, which is the 5th one all the way out here, so that could be 5 days away. There are also these faction targets. The first objective hasn't changed. I don't know what the rest of the objectives were, because we never actually unlocked access to them. You can't see until you finish the first one. But given how quickly we're gathering wheat, I suspect we will find out what the rest of them are pretty soon. But that is about it for the major changes. Thank you for watching, and let me know if you've got any questions.